Hello, this is Gradye Parsons, Stated Clerk of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian USA. This is a continuation of our conversation, Where Are We Going as a Church? Today I want to turn once again to Dave Gibbons' book, The Monkey and the Fish, and talk about Dave's third question that he keeps in his mind as he looks towards the future of the church. The first question was, where's Nazareth? Where are the margins? The second question was, what is our pain? Where are the places in our life where we've experienced difficulty that really could be openings for other people to come in conversation? But today is one I think is especially useful for Presbyterians. That is, what is in our hand? What do we already have? So many times I meet with churches or presbyteries or synods or even individual Presbyterians who are concerned because they don't have youth, or they don't have money, or they don't have the building they want, or they don't have this, or they don't have that. But we really have so many treasures already in our hands that we could use for the gospel if we just think about them in that way. I'll give you two examples. One is there's a little church up in northern Indiana, and they're a little downtown church in a small town. And the downtown was trying to go through one of those revitalization programs where they stayed open late one night a month and invited people downtown to shop and eat and do those things. Well, the church was right in the middle of all that and wanted to think, what could we do? What do we have to offer this experience so people might want to come by the church and talk? So they got thinking, and suddenly they realized there were no public restrooms in that downtown. So the church basically started out with a restroom ministry. And it's sort of grown over time, so now they have coffee and there's conversation, and it's a real gathering place for the people in town while they're out late one evening for town. They didn't have to build anything extra. They didn't have to raise any extra money. Didn't have to buy any expensive programs, no new technology. They just had to realize what they already had with them and open that treasure to some other folks. And then if you're out late and you need a restroom, that can be a very important treasure. Another church is up in Pennsylvania. This was a farmer's church. And either the treasurer changed or the session changed. I'm not quite sure how that part of the story happened, but they suddenly realized that they were receiving a subsidy from the presbytery in order to keep the doors open. So they were mortified that they were having to be subsidized. So they told the treasurer to send the check back. Of course, at the next meeting, they all suddenly had the realization, how are we going to meet this gap in our budget? What are we going to do? So they started talking among themselves and realized they were the best sweet corn growers in that part of the state of Pennsylvania. So together they all set aside a certain part of their crop, sowed that crop in the fall, and all made more than enough to meet the gap. Didn't have to do anything extra, didn't have to do anything new, didn't have to go purchase anything. They just had to realize what treasure they already have in their hand. As Presbyterians, we've been really blessed with a lot of gifts. We have people who are tremendously talented, who are willing to give of their time. Like 98% of all of our buildings are bought and paid for. We have folks who want to do and be part of helping the world be a better place. We have all these treasures in our hands. So our emptiness is really just this whole theology of emptiness and not a theology of abundance, which is really the reality about what God has given us. So when we think about the future of our church, we think about the marginal people that need to be included in part of our church world. We need to think about the pain in our life that really could be an opening to conversation, not something we need to hide. And we also have to realize that we have treasures already that we can share with folks, or people that would give us a chance to be in ministry with God and to reach out to people for the sake of the kingdom. So I hope you can continue to think about this and reflect on this. What are the gifts your church already has that could be used to share the gospel of Jesus Christ? Thank you, and let's keep talking.